Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling on eBay for 21 years and Poshmark for 6 years. And today I have a what sold video. I am a little behind. I'm sharing sales from the month of October 2025. Sales were really up for me this month. I sold 135 items for a gross amount of $4,120.49. Today we will start on eBay. I sold a total of 68 items for a gross amount of $2,494.28. The first item was a really beautiful vintage long black evening gown. I titled this listing Vintage Escape by Joanna Chen, black evening gown, size 12 dress, deep V rhinestones. I added a video clip of this dress so I could really show off how beautiful it was. I also noted that the hem does show a little bit of wear. That's very typical of these long evening gowns and formal dresses. And I always just let the potential buyer know that it does show some wear, but you really can't see it when it is worn. And that never keeps the items from selling. But I think it is very important to disclose that. And it sold international to someone in Australia. It sold for a gross amount of $63.70. So that's everything the buyer pays. That includes the postage and all fees. And after the postage is taken out and all of the fees, the amount that was deposited back in my bank account was $43.22. I paid just $5 at my regular Goodwill. It was the color tag that was half price that day. So it had the opportunity for other people to purchase it for $9.99. It wasn't purchased in those weeks, so it was marked down, and I got it for just $5. My profit was $38.22. It took 7 months and 23 days to sell. I've been picking up a lot more evening gowns, formal dresses, and things like that. I love selling those because I find it's a really good profit, but I've also found that it often takes a little while for those items to sell. So I have to know that I need to be patient until the right buyer comes along on those, but the profit is just great on a lot of these evening gowns. The next one I sold for my sister. She had a remote control that she gave me and said she never used it. She purchased it on Amazon and it was still new in the package. I titled the listing LG Magic Remote Control Transmitter with built-in QWERTY keyboard, and then I put the model number. It sold for $73.59. Remotes can sometimes be worth a lot of money. So if you see one at a garage sale or at a thrift store, you might want to look up the remote because some of them can have a lot of value. My sister's earning after fees and postage were taken out was $48.88. It took just 23 days to sell. So, say you're out thrifting, you find a remote. The sold comps are great. How can you tell if that remote actually works without having the television to go with it? You can just use your smartphone or a digital camera to look for the flashing infrared light that is invisible to the human eye, but your camera lens can see it. If you're using your smartphone, be sure you use your rear camera because sometimes the front camera has a filter that will not see that infrared light. Just point the camera at the remote, push a button, and see if you see that blinking light when you look through your phone or digital camera. Okay, so we're going to test these 3 remotes. I push the button. My camera is facing it. No light. That one doesn't work. It might need new batteries. Press this one. It works. Press this one. Does not work. So let's try changing the batteries in this one and see if we can get it to work. Old batteries out, new batteries in. Let's see if it works. All that one needed was a battery change. The next one came from my Dallas Goodwill Bins haul. This was the vintage 80s Lisa Lawrence slip dress, size 26. Then I put Coquette Romantic Lace Satin USA. One strap was broken. I didn't realize that when I purchased it. It was tied on, so I just sewed it together, noted that in the listing, and it still sold great. It sold for a gross amount of $33.73. My earnings were $24.52. I paid just 39 cents at the Dallas, Texas Goodwill bins. It took just 2 days to sell and my profit was $24.13. I didn't have it listed quite yet when I showed the haul, but when I did finally get it listed, it took just 2 days to sell. The next one was a purse that I had. I purchased it from Fox Liquidation. I bought a box and didn't realize that they were store returns. And so I was kicking myself when I got it in. I didn't look close enough. It was returns, not brand new with tags. So each of these Marc Jacobs purses I paid $50 for, but each one had a flaw. But even with the flaws, it ends up being really good. What I did was it had like a little mark on the front, like it had a little bit of residue from a sticker. So I just cleaned it with leather cleaner and you could barely see it. I stated that in the listing and it still sold great. I titled this listing New with Tags, $295, Marc Jacobs, the Soft Shot 17 bag, crossbody, cement, black, multi-gold, small. It sold for a gross amount of $132.02. My earnings were $91.86. The cost of goods was $50. I purchased it from Fox Liquidation. My profit was $41.86 and it took 15 days to sell. The next one I was so excited about. It was this vintage leopard print jacket. It had actually been listed so long ago, over 3 years ago, and I thought it's just never going to sell. And then one day it sold. And the title that it went to was the name of a television program. And I was like, no way, that couldn't be. I wonder if it could. And then it was, I don't know if I can say the name of it, but it was one that is based in Oklahoma. And so I thought, okay, this is weird. This is a Georgia address, not Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when I looked up the address, it was a movie production company and it was filming the upcoming season in that location. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is really going to the set of this television show. I was super excited. I told my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to watch this show now because I want to see if it's worn on the show. And it kind of fits in. It's kind of like a mobster type show, I think. So I was super excited and I was prepared to binge this show. Then on the last day that they could return it, exactly 30 days, they returned it for changed my mind. So I was so disappointed. That's the second time that I've sold to a movie set, and both times, ironically, has been returned on the 30th day. One was this hot pink fuchsia dress. I showed it in a video a couple years ago, but that was a movie set also, and it came back on the last day. So I was like, what in the world is this? Just the strangest coincidence? But I'll go ahead and share with you what the jacket was. And now I'm relisting it and hopefully it will sell even better. The other one that I sold to a movie set and it came back, I resold it for a higher amount. So hopefully that will happen on this one too. I titled the listing Ultra Sport Vintage Jacket, size medium, leopard, animal print, velour coat blazer. It sold for just $30.49. My earnings were $10.15. I got it for just a quarter at a fill-a-bag sale in Midwest City, Oklahoma. I told about this so many times. I had it stored away for a long time, pulled it out, listed it over 3 years ago, and it just sat. My profit was just $9.90, but I didn't care. I was so excited that it was going to be on television, but that's okay. It gave me a lot of excitement for a little while. Next one was another item that I picked up at the Dallas bins, and this one I wanted to test out. I think I said that in the haul video. I have picked up other Quaker Factory items and they have sold really, really well, but they always have like a novelty print on them. When I saw this Quaker Factory, it looked really nice. It looked like it was in new condition, but it was just like a brown velour, no novelty print on it. But I thought, I'll try it. It's the bins. It's a great opportunity to see if it will still sell or if it's just because of the prints that it has that it usually sells so well. And I learned a lesson. I titled this listing, New with Tags, Quaker Factory, brown velour vest, women's extra large, Argyle rhinestone zip up. It sold for $19.18. My earnings were $7.90. I paid $1.32 at the Dallas bins. My profit was just $6.58. And it took 2 months and 3 days to sell, but at least it sold. I mean, it would have been worse if it had never sold. So I did get back my cost of goods and I made a little profit. So that's a positive, but I could have used my time listing something that made $20 or $30 instead. So now I know I won't pick up a Quaker Factory sweater unless it has a novelty print. I looked up Quaker Factory sweaters that did have a novelty print on eBay that were used. I sorted them from highest to lowest so I could see what had sold the highest in the last 90 days, and some sold really high. The very highest ones were Halloween themed and they were actually like a barn jacket. So definitely be on the lookout for those. There was another one that sold really high that said Lily of the Valley, several of them that had like nature themes, one that had horses, cats. There were a lot that had a cat theme. It was a celestial sweater that sold really well. Teacher themes, I would be sure, although this Quaker Factory item did not sell well, there are ones that sell very, very well that you want to be on the lookout for.
Just a quick reminder, if you're new and not subscribed, I'd love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos.
Then another item that I had in a recent haul, I wanted to share with you how it did. It was the Miss Me distressed jacket, women's size large. I put military green front clasp. When I got home, I noticed it was ripped inside. I did not think it would be worth it for me to take the time to repair it, so I just listed it as is for a lower amount. It still sold for $28.74. My earnings were $16.57. I paid just $5. It was a half price color tag that day. I purchased it at my local Goodwill and my profit was $11.57. It took 2 months and 24 days to sell. So I was happy with that since it was damaged. Now, before we go to Poshmark, I wanted to share the winner of the $100 Jeulia Jewlery gift card. In the video with the giveaway, I said I'd do the drawing on November 27th at exactly 9:00 a.m. So that was Thanksgiving morning. Thankfully, I set an alarm to remind myself so I could take a break from the cooking. So let's break right here and I'll show you who won.
Okay, let's see who wins a $100 gift card to Jeulia Jewelry.
Congratulations to a joyful cart. If you contact me at love2shop242@gmail.com, then I will let you know the information that the rep at Jeulia Jewelry needs to send you your $100 gift card. So congratulations again, and what a cute username. I love that, a joyful cart. So congratulations. Next on Poshmark, the first item was a vintage 90s, I think it was 90s or Y2K. The brand was Jump Apparel. I titled the listing Vintage 90s Jump Apparel Prom Formal Dress Gown, size 17-18, strapless, black Y2K. In the listing, I did put that it was either from the 90s or Y2K. I wasn't sure that it originally had a sash, but I don't have that. And it still sold anyway for $50. My earnings were $38.50. I paid just $1.20 at the Goodwill Oklahoma City bins. At the time when it was just 99 cents a pound if you purchased over 25 pounds. Because I had this listed for 2 years, 7 months, and 11 days. My profit though was great, $37.30. But I am noticing that some of these formal dresses do take a little bit longer to sell, so I just have to be really patient with them. Some of them don't take that long at all, but I think that was a great profit. The next one came from the Dallas Bins haul. This was a White House Black Market jacket. So I put WHBM tweed jacket, size 6, black, white, open front, small, White House Black Market. It sold for $22. My earnings were $17.60. I paid $2.28 at the Dallas Bins. My profit was $15.32. It took 2 months and 10 days to sell. The next one I also picked up at the Dallas Bins, and when I looked up comps, not sold comps. There were only listed comps. They were listed for so high. So I got really excited. Oh my gosh, this is gonna sell for so much. So at first I got really excited. Then I looked at what had sold and nothing. So I thought, this is a gamble. I'm going to try it. It's at the bins. They weighed like almost nothing. So I started them out really high, no activity. So I dropped it, kept dropping, and they finally sold for $18. My earnings were $14.40. They cost just 25 cents at the Dallas bins because they were so lightweight. And my profit was $14.15. They took 2 months and 25 days to sell. The next one didn't sell for a really high amount, but I wanted to report back because I did have it in a haul. I have done really well on some of the vintage sweatshirts that have the built-in collar underneath. So when I saw it, it was $1.29 because it was on the day where my Goodwill has the oldest color tag marked down to just $1.29. They do that on Mondays. So I thought, I'm going to try it. This might do really well because I've had great luck with some of these type sweatshirts in the past. I titled the listing Vintage Morning Sun Sweatshirt, large, blue, snow, grandma, granny core, USA Hanes, 42 to 44. It sold for just $14. My earnings were $9.55. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill, and I forgot to put the profit, so I'll pop it up right here. It took 6 months and 25 days to sell. Although this one didn't do great, some of them do. In fact, I went to Poshmark, looked at the sold listings to see what sold for a high amount. And as I went through, lots of the novelty prints, cat things always sell well. Lots of different nature themes, animal themes. So there is value in this style. And I noticed it wasn't specifically by brand, it was by print. A lot of people don't even put the brand on it.
I learned so much from looking at listings that sold really well. For example, this one, they never put the brand. They put vintage on the title line, and then when you go into the listing under item details under brand, they have vintage, not the actual brand on the tag. I continued to go into listing after listing and look how it was listed, and almost all of them under brand have just vintage. So I think that might be where I went wrong. I shouldn't have put the actual brand name. I should have put it under the brand vintage, and I bet it would have done better. So I learned from it. I also just familiarized myself more with items like this that sell really well. And I think the next time I come across a sweatshirt like this, I will do better.
This next one also came from the Dallas bin, so I wanted to let you know how it did, and pretty soon I can do an update to where I'm at on that haul if you're interested in that. I titled this listing Frog Togs Rain Suit, size extra large, black, waterproof, full zip, jacket hooded. It sold for $19. My earnings were $15.20. I paid just $1.35 at the Dallas bins. My profit was $13.85, and it took exactly 3 months to sell. That is everything that I have for you today. In the month of October, I was still doing selling for other people, so my numbers are still not completely accurate, so I'm not going to go through the complete breakdown of my numbers, but probably in 2026 I will probably get back to selling for myself more and not for other people as much. So then when that happens, I'll go through and give my full number breakdown on everything. That is everything that I have for you today. If you enjoy these what sold videos and wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it so much. And if you're new and not subscribed, I would love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.